أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسلا، وذي من أقسام الحديث عدة، وكل واحد أتى وحده. أولها الصحيح وهو ما اتصل إسناده ولم يشذ أو يعل.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة، وخلق منها زوجها، وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام، إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أعاذنا الله وإياكم من النار. عباد الله، أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله عز وجل، حيث أمركم والأمم من قبلنا، ولقد وصينا الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم وإياكم أن اتقوا الله. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Allah Azza wa Jal, in His infinite wisdom subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He sent prophets and messengers, when He sends these noble human beings to His ibad, to His creation, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He selected them specifically. Allahu yastafi min al-malaikati rusula wa min al-nas. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He selects and He chooses from the angels and from the people. So Allah Azza wa Jalla, He selected the anbiya and the rusul from the mass of the people, and He sent them with His message. And with Allah Azza wa Jalla, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He selected these prophets and He sent them to specific people in the right time, in the right places. Allahu a'lamu haythu yaj'alu risalatah. Allah, He knows when to send the message and when to send a certain people to a particular group of people. And from this, my dear brothers and sisters, from the hikmah of Allah Azza wa Jalla, He never sent any messenger or prophet except to a people in which they speak the language of the people. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَّسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ فَيُضِلُّ اللَّهُ مَن يَشَاءُ وَيَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says in Surah Ibrahim, Allah has never sent any messenger to any group of people except in a language, or to the people that they speak the language of their people. لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ. And this is the shahid, this is the important point for the people, for these people to explain the message which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to the ibad. What is this message, my dear brothers and sisters? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He looked at all of these characteristics to make sure that this message reaches the people in the best way. And this is nothing other than La ilaha illallah, my dear brothers and sisters. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He selected the best of people, and He selected the best of times, and He selected the people who are best suited for this message. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla, He never wants the people to be misguided. He wants the people to understand the ghaya, the objective of their creation, the reason for their existence. And يُعَرِّفَهُمْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. In order for the people to understand the reason why they've been created, which is to worship Allah Azza wa Jalla. My dear brothers and sisters, this kalima, this statement of La ilaha illallah is the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created the heavens and the earth. This very statement is the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala khalaqa al-jannata wal-nar. He created the heaven, He created Jannah, paradise and the hellfire. For this very statement, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah Azza wa Jal, He will establish the day of judgment. لِيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسَاءُوا بِمَا عَمِلُوا وَيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا بِالْحُسْنَى. In order to reward those that have committed evil actions with the hellfire, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. And in order to reward those that have come with righteous actions with Al-Jannah. This very statement, my dear brothers, Musa alayhi salam, when he came to Allah Azza wa Jal, when he asked Allah Azza wa Jal, as reported in the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu, he said, Ya Allah, Musa alayhi salam is asking, Oh Allah, Alimni, oh my Lord, teach me of something that I can remember you with, and I can call out to you with. Then Allah Azza wa Jal said to him, say La ilaha illallah. Musa alayhi salam said, Ya Allah, all of your ibad, all of your creations, they say this statement, I want something specifically for me. Allah Azza wa Jalla said to him, Ya Musa, O Musa, if this kalima of La ilaha illallah and all of the heavens and that which contains within it and all of the 7 earths were put to one scale and La ilaha illallah was put to another scale, La ilaha illallah will outweigh all of that, subhanallah. This, my dear brothers, this statement is a statement which is azim. A statement which Allah Azza wa Jal is going to reward the people with Jannah, and is going to be a means of others entering into al-nar wal-'iyadhu billah. And this is the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent messengers. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent books. Why? لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ, to clarify to the people that which has been revealed to the people to follow. And my dear brothers, this is why Allah Azza wa Jal, He commanded the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أَن يُبَلِّغ. Allah Azza wa Jal, He said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, يَا أَيُّهَا الرَّسُولُ بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. O Messenger of Allah, convey that which has been revealed to you from your Lord. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. If you have not conveyed this message of La ilaha illallah, you have not fulfilled the responsibility which you have been sent with. Meaning, that which has been sent with, you would have failed the mission. And here, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah Azza wa Jalla did not leave any opportunity for any person to add anything into the religion. Because the maqsood, the objective, is for the people to understand who the Lord is. And Allah, He warned the Prophet ﷺ of adding anything into the religion, meaning if you were to add anything into this religion of ours, then you would take the people away from that which is intended for them, to understand their Lord. Allah, He threatened the Prophet ﷺ, وَلَوْ تَقَوَّلَ عَلَيْنَا بَعْضَ الْأَقَاوِيلِ. If you were to add just a statement in that which we have given you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لَأَخَذْنَا مِنْهُ بِالْيَمِينِ. We would have taken you, we would have seized you, O Muhammad, by our right hand. ثُمَّ لَقَطَعْنَا مِنْهُ الْوَتِينَ. And we would have killed you, we would have become dead. This is the threat, my dear brothers. The Prophet ﷺ, he was forbidden to add anything, because why? This is a structure. Al-Islam is a structure building which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed and built, and anything that you add into it would destroy or would take the objective of this message. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ, he himself, because he was forbidden of adding anything into the religion, he forbade his ummah. مَنْ عَمِلَ عَمَلًا لَيْسَ عَلَيْهِ أَمْرُنَا فَهُوَ رَدٌّ. Whoever does anything which we have not commanded him to do, which has not come in our guidance, then he will be rejected with him. Why do we think, my dear brothers, the Prophet ﷺ, he emphasized the importance of following that which has come from the Quran and the Sunnah? Because why? When you add something into the religion, you are going to drive the main objective. Why Allah Azza wa Jalla, He sent the messengers? Why Allah revealed the books? Why Allah created the heavens and the earth? Is for what? For the people to understand La ilaha illallah. Sufyan ibn Uyayna rahimahullah ta'ala, he said a very amazing statement. He said, مَا أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى عَبْدٍ مِنَ الْعِبَادِ بِنِعْمَةٍ أَعْظَمٍ مِنْ أَنْ عَرَّفَهُمْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Allah has not given the slaves any blessing which is azim, any blessing which is great, than to make them understand La ilaha illallah. For a person to understand, my dear brothers, La ilaha illallah, the reason why you have been created, then you have been given the best of blessings. Ma'rifatu la ilaha illallah, haqq al-ma'rifa, knowing la ilaha illallah in the manner which a person has to understand la ilaha illallah is from the greatest of blessings. And this is why Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu, he said, and Nafi', he reports, he said, Ibn Umar, when he used to go to Safa, when he was making Umrah or Hajj, Ibn Umar, he said, he used to make dua. When you ascend Safa and you go down to and you ascend Marwa, this is the place of making dua and asking Allah for whatever you want. You turn towards the Qibla, the Kaaba, and you ask Allah Azza wa Jal. The dua that Ibn Umar used to ask, he used to say, Allahumma innaka qult. Oh Allah, you have said, Ud'uni astajib lakum. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in His book, all my slaves, call up to me and I'm going to answer your call, your dua. Wa innaka la tukhlifu al-mi'ad. And you, Allah, you do not betray your promise. And then he used to say, radiyallahu anhuma, Allahumma, oh my Lord, you have guided me to Islam. You have guided me to this religion of Islam. فَلَا تَنْزِعْهُ مِنِّي. Do not strip this Islam away from me before I meet you, subhanallah. Meaning, make me die upon Islam. Do not allow me to die on the religion other than Islam. La ilaha illallah, my dear brothers, it is a statement that brings a person into Islam. Just as Allah has guided you to this religion of Islam, has allowed you to understand La ilaha illallah. You have been brought from those who have been guided to Islam. My dear brothers, do not take this dress or this cloak that Allah has dressed you with and take it away from yourself. By engaging in activities, by engaging in festivals, we are in a time where people are running to celebrate Christmas. We are running to engage in these kind of festivals which have no basis in the religion of Islam. Someone might say, look, I engage in the birthday, or I celebrate, I don't believe that Jesus or Isa alayhi salam is a son of God. Rather, I only celebrate his birthday the same way Muslims, or some of the Muslims celebrate the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What's wrong with that? We say to that person, this understanding is a very wrong understanding. Ma anzal Allahu biha min sultan. Allah Azza wa Jalla has not revealed upon the Muslims to celebrate the birthday of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Leave alone celebrating the birthday of Isa alayhi salam. The least we can say is that it's a bid'ah. It's an innovation which has crept into the religion of the Nasara, of the Christians. That's the least that a person can say. So if a person was to engage into these celebrations, then this person is committing a bid'ah, and every innovation is a misguidance, and every misguidance will lead the person to the hellfire. Let alone having to follow the sunnah or the guidance or the path of those disbelievers by celebrating Christmas. Subhanallah. How can a person sit and celebrate Christmas in which Allah Azza wa Jalla is being dishonored? People are saying statements about Allah Azza wa Jalla. By doing these festivals, you are taking away this nur, this light that Allah Azza wa Jalla has honored you with Al-Islam with, and you are running away to what? To Al-Kufr wal-'iyadhu billah. My dear respected brothers and sisters, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, realizing the importance and the heaviness of this statement, La ilaha illallah, he never failed to remind the believers every Jumu'ah, every day of, every Jumu'ah of the week, the Friday, he would stand on the minbar and he would address the people. The statements that you've heard me, start off saying, Inna alhamdulillah, khutbatul hajah. The Prophet ﷺ would not start any talk or any addressing of the believers except by starting with these statements. Let's ponder over these statements, my dear brothers and sisters, and realize the heaviness of how these statements are. Khutbatul hajah, my dear brothers and sisters, it was the reason, as Imam Muslim rahimahullah ta'ala, he narrates in the Sahih, that one of the noble companions, the Mahdi al-Azdi radiyallahu anhu, he became Muslim because of these very statements. He came to Mecca when the Prophet ﷺ was being ridiculed, when he was being chased away from giving the da'wah to the people to become Muslims. They used to call him names. He was a sahir, he was a magician, he was a kadhab, he was a liar. He was someone who has been bewitched. The Mahdi al-Azdi, Sayyidu Qawmi, he was the leader of his people, Al-Azd. He came and he had all of these statements being said about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Wallahi, if Allah allows me to go and meet Muhammad, I am someone who is known to give ruqya, to treat the people who have been bewitched, who have some sort of magic done on them. If I meet him, I'm going to treat him of this magic that people are accusing him of, or that which he has been affected with this magic. The Mahdi al-Azdi, my dear brothers and sisters, he meets the Prophet ﷺ and he said, "O Muhammad, I am someone who is a raqi, someone who gives treatment for the people, and I have treated so many people in the past. Allow me to treat you for this magic." So he started talking. The Prophet ﷺ, he looked at him and said, "Khalast, intahayt, yani you have finished what you have to say?" Then he said, "Yes." Then the Prophet ﷺ says, "Inna alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh, wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina," until the end. Allahu Akbar. The Mahdi al-Azdi said, "A'idha marratan ukhra." Repeat this for me. What have you just said? The Prophet ﷺ repeated it again. The Mahdi al-Azdi radiyallahu anhu, he said, "Wallahi, I've heard statements of the most eloquent of people in terms of poetry, but I've not heard anything similar to this. This cannot be a statement of someone who's been bewitched, someone who has magic been done upon them." Subhanallah. Then the Mahdi al-Azdi said, "O Messenger of Allah, put your hand forward so I can give you my bay'ah, so I can accept Islam." And then the Prophet ﷺ said to him, "Are you accepting Islam on your own or with your own people?" He said, "I'm giving bay'ah for myself and for my qawm, my people who have left behind." Imagine this is someone who's accepting Islam, and he's saying, if this is presented to my people, they are also going to accept what? Al-Islam. The Mahdi al-Azdi accepted Islam, and he gave bay'ah to the Prophet ﷺ, and he returned to his people, and they all accepted Islam. Why? Because of this very heavy statements, my dear brothers and sisters, of La ilaha illallah. Imagine these are statements, not the Quran. These are statements without a doubt revealed to the Prophet ﷺ from Allah Azza wa Jalla, because the Prophet ﷺ does not speak from his own desires. And it was the reason for the Mahdi al-Azdi to accept Islam. Let's look at these beautiful statements, my dear brothers and sisters, just to ponder over this. Maybe perhaps for the youngsters or for those people who don't understand, why does the Khatib every single time he stands on the minbar, he starts with these statements? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to start with, "Inna alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, al-thana, praise be to Allah Azza wa Jal, alhamdulillah alladhi hadana ila al-Islam." Praise be to Allah Azza wa Jal, who has guided us to this beautiful religion of Islam, the most complete way of a person can live, the most perfect way a person can live Islam, their life. Nahmaduhu. And then the Prophet ﷺ used to praise Allah again. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. We praise you, O Allah Azza wa Jal, and we seek your forgiveness for our shortcomings. Because a person, my dear brothers, when he commits sins, when he is in a disobedience of Allah Azza wa Jal, this is a means of weakening his resolve in the belief of La ilaha illallah. So the Prophet ﷺ would start his khutbatul hajah by praising Allah Azza wa Jalla, thanking him for guiding him to Islam. My dear brothers, as Sufyan ibn Uyayna, he mentioned, "Ma an'ama Allahu ala al-abd." Wallahi, there's nothing greater that you have been given, my dear brothers and sisters, greater than La ilaha illallah. Knowing who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Look outside. Look how many people are running to kufr. And this is why Allah used to comfort the Prophet ﷺ. He used to say to him, "Ya ayyuha ar-rasul, la yahzunka alladhina yusari'una fil kufr." O Messenger of Allah, do not be grieved, not be saddened when you see a huge mass of the people running to what? Disbelief. So my dear brothers, do not be deceived, do not lose your resolve in the belief of Allah Azza wa Jalla. When you see your work colleagues, when you see even your family members running to celebrate these festivals which are muharram, which are forbidden in Islam. So the Prophet ﷺ used to start off by saying, "Inna alhamdulillahi nahmaduh wa nasta'inuhu," and seeking assistance from Allah Azza wa Jal, because my dear brothers and sisters, your Islam that you have, sometimes it becomes very difficult for you to hold on to this Islam. The fitna, the trials, they come to you and it becomes very difficult for you to hold on to your religion. The Prophet ﷺ used to say, وَنَسْتَعِينُ, and I seek your assistance to allow me to hold on to this Islam until I return back to you. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله على إحسانه والشكر له على توفيقه وامتنانه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له تعظيما لشأنه وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. For some of us, my dear brothers and sisters, who might be wondering, how often are we going to speak about La ilaha illallah, their belief? Have we not already had this? Is it not something that we are already aware that as a Muslim, the fact that I've come to the masjid, I'm a Muslim, I'm a believer in La ilaha illallah? Do I not understand what La ilaha illallah is? My dear brothers and sisters, the mushrikun at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they spoke Arabic, fluent Arabic, and they understood this kalima of La ilaha illallah. Abu Jahl, he was someone who understood this statement. He said to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "O Muhammad, you have come with something which has caused a lot of divisions among the people. The sons are running away from their families. There has been a huge split among the family members because of what? Because of this thing that you have come with. If you want, we'll give you whatever you want. And you can leave off this da'wah, this call that you're calling the people to. Because it's caused a lot of harm among the people. What is it that you want from us, O Muhammad?" Prophet ﷺ, he looks at him and said, "Kalima, just this kalima, just one statement." So Abu Jahl, he said to him, "Kalima, this is the reason why you're causing all of this hatred and problems within the community?" He said, "I will give you 100 kalima. I'll give you 100 kalimat. I'll give you 100. If you want one, I'll give you 100. Say it to me." The Prophet ﷺ said, "La ilaha illallah." Say La ilaha illallah, Abu Jahl. And Abu Jahl, he looked at him and said, "Amma hadha fala." As for this one, I cannot. Because why? He understood that if he has to say this statement, that means all of his life has to change. The uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, Abu Talib, we know very well. He believed in the Prophet ﷺ, he believed in the message that the Prophet ﷺ came with. And he was known for making a poetry where he said, and he defended the Prophet ﷺ in everything. But these statements did not affect his belief in his heart. Why? Because he knew that if he was to utter the statement of La ilaha illallah, that would change his entire life. So he died upon disbelief and kufr, wal-iyadhu billah. And you, my dear brothers, you came years after that. Perhaps some of us can barely speak a word of Arabic. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala arrafaka. Allah Azza wa Jal has made you to understand La ilaha illallah. أي نعمة أعظم من هذا. Which blessing is greater than this, my dear brothers and sisters? And now you are someone who is now trading your religion. For what? For just a moment of happiness? You are compromising your religion for what? A moment of celebration? You don't realize that there's people that died and they've lost their lives because of what? To safeguard their iman. My dear brothers and sisters, فَاسْتَمْسِكُوا بِالَّذِي هُوَ عَلَيْكَ. Hold on to that which you are upon. The Prophet ﷺ used to make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal, Allahumma ya waliya al-Islam wa ahli. O Allah, the owner of Islam and his people, massikni ala al-Islam hatta alqaqa alayh. Hold me, keep me upon al-Islam until I meet you upon my religion. Allahu Akbar. This is the Rasul, the Messenger of Allah Azza wa Jal. Increase in making dua, my dear brothers and sisters, and asking Allah to give you thabat, to give you steadfastness upon al-Islam. And increase in learning about your religion. What Islam, what La ilaha illallah requires from you. Because it's not just a statement a person says from the tongue, rather it's something that penetrates the heart and then it's manifested on the limbs. If your La ilaha illallah is not manifest on your limbs, you are not someone who observes the salawat. As a Muslim, a sister, you are not someone who wears the hijab, observe the daily prayers. Then La ilaha illallah has not really penetrated your heart. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu dukhulu fi as-silmi kaffa. all you who believe, enter into Islam. Practice this kalima of La ilaha illallah. Enter into wholeheartedly, do not leave anything behind. Then you will be from those who will be rewarded with Al-Jannah. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect our Islam and to make us die upon Islam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect and safeguard the youth, the youngsters, from inhiraf, from any misguidance. اللهم رد المسلمين إلى دينهم ردا جميلا. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها زكها أنت خير من زكاها. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصل اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. وأقم الصلاة.